I'm your host for today. My name is Laleh Hancock, and I'm so happy to introduce you to one of our Hera partners. This magical being, her name is Francesca Giobbi, and runs the organization called FreedomeE. So Francesca, welcome.
Well, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for your time. And I'm honored to have women like you, recording the special people and special time about Hera organization. Hera is amazing. I'm so glad that I met Marionella. Um, she's amazing. And I would like all the people around the world, especially women, to know there is someone saying, hey, girls, let's embrace each other, help each other to make a better economy around the world. So happy for you to have me here.
Well, Francesca, we want to share you with the world. You have such a special gift, and I know it started at a very early age. And I want you to share the story with people of when you were 10 years old and you asked your mom to give you some money for some popcorn. So, can you just let the rest of the world know about this beautiful person named Francesca?
No, I remember that I was 10 years old and I want a popcorn just across the street from a fabric shop. My mother used to work in fashion. And then I got the biggest money that she had in her wallet. And then when I went to buy the popcorns, different small children came to me and they wanted to eat some popcorn. And then I thought, I will not eat my popcorn well if I see these people looking at me. So I bought the popcorn for everybody there. And then the question that I made to myself, I say, why? I have a mother that can buy me popcorn and those children cannot have it. And then I start asking myself why I go to a good school and those kids do not go to school. Why I have my mother just across the street worried that I'm here, that I have like 5 minutes to buy my popcorn and I have to go back. Otherwise she will scream at me because where are you, Francesca? What are you doing? I need to work and you need to help me while I'm working. And then I asked why those children were there in the middle of the street. And then I realized that the society won't give the same of opportunities to all. And this is what FreedomeE it's all about. It's to give good opportunities to all. So if you want to study, if you want to work, if you want to do something, the sky, it's not the limit. You can do whatever you want. You can go above the sky, higher than the sky. So this is what about FreedomeE it's all about. So FreedomeE it's a social network that embrace entrepreneurs from different nationalities, areas, and sizes that wants to make economy with positive impact. Positive impacts embracing people, embracing money, and embracing the planet. And when I met Marionella, I was like, wow, this lady, she knows what she's talking about. First of all, she's a mother and a grandmother. And she works in a very delicate field. She runs her airplane company. And she realized that she, being in the place where she is, she has a lot of no's. And then she put herself in other women's shoes, saying, if I have a lot of no's, imagine those, how many no's they have. And this is what I love about Hera, what I love about Marionella. And then when she introduced to me the perfume project, I would say, wow, you are amazing. So let's put all the women in the same smell. Let's show to them that we're all the same, that we have the same problems regarding family, regarding money, regarding ourselves in the society, regarding beauty, regarding everything that goes around us. And then when she introduced me the perfume, I said, wow, I want to be part of it. And how can I be part of it? Well, I can put FreedomeE, which is this social network with a marketplace, with to help to communicate this idea of Hera, and what can I do to help Hera in different countries, and so this is what is Freedomy. It's all about helping women. And what's very interesting what Marianela said, I do not only want to help women, I want to help the society, because the woman, it's the pillar of her family, but she's not there alone. If there's not kids, they're not her husband, if they're not a family, she doesn't have a role. And this is what I thought it was very interesting, because now people are misunderstanding what is to help women. And when she said, I'm not empowering women, I'm giving values to women. I want women to value themselves, and they're not, because the society, the religion, the politics, everything, it's like cutting the wings of a woman. And that's what she said. I don't want only women working with beauty, fashion, or food. I want women in politician. I want women in CEOs of big tech companies. I know, and put them all with the same smell. And which way I think it's amazing, because we can make it happen if we change the rules to help us to be in the same level of a man. This is what we want. And it's not about having hair under your arm, it's not about the decision that you have about what, if you like a man or if you like a woman. It's not like this. It's a woman into the society. It's our role on this. And this is what I really like about Hera and being here. And we know that it's not easy, because we have to work with education, we have to work with different cultures, we have to work with money, we have to work with information, we have to work with different countries that lack different things. I don't know what you think about this COVID. I think this COVID, it's killing the economy in all senses, and in a way it's manipulating us to technology in the wrong way, instead of helping us into technology. So the big tech companies are running right now, and they're killing the medium and the small entrepreneurs around the globe. And if you see women, we were the small and the medium entrepreneurs, because we couldn't get into the big entrepreneurs around the world, because we never had the right opportunities to do it. And then when women has the right opportunities to do it, to be there, she wants to be equal as a man. She wants to be a man. But the thing is, we're never going to be equal as a man. Never, even if we want, because we have a different way of thinking. We have different way of taking care of the society. I always say that men, they only want to win. Women, they want to take care while they are winning. So it's a big difference. See, men see the goal, women see the way that she will achieve the goal. And this is what makes all the difference. And so I don't know.
Well, that was beautifully said, and you're right. And, one of the things I love about Marinella, meeting her less than 5 minutes, I knew I wanted to be part of this journey. And it wasn't the journey of one thing. Is Hera is going to mean different things to different people in different countries. We have the Hera City. And like you mentioned, we have Hera Perfume, that you are one of the partners that is launching to allow this perfume to reach every woman. And it is for us also to, what can we contribute to having this perfume reach the women that actually require it? So you get to buy it as a gift for the women that and all the profits go to this program of empowering women. But it's different. It's not just the words of how do we empower women. I think so many wonderful organizations are out in the world who do that. This organization is saying, okay, how do I empower you to be who you want to be? Not to put you in a box of how I can empower you. But yes, education is there, the resources are there, but the platform is there. And so many organizations, they can do some aspects, but they don't have the platform, you know, and being able to get that out there. And for me, you talked about COVID. I want to bring up everything in our societies, no matter where you live. The small business, the medium-sized businesses that are majority, more than 50% women owned, are what has been the platform, the foundation to the country's survival and thrival. You know, and I would like to see more of that. And what's happening around COVID is unfortunate because the COVID itself is not the problem. It's the power behind it. It's the reservation. It's the stopping point of what really the power we all have. And that's why for all of you watching, it's not that we have the answer and we tell you to follow us. We're asking you, what do you know? Each of us knows different things. Each of us has had a different background, and based on our journeys beyond today and the last few years, we are being something that brings a different kind of power. And if you're willing not to get distracted by the stories and by the problems around the world, what do you know? What ideas do you have that allows us to create different possibilities, to create a new world? Because I'll tell you, one of the things I love about you, Francesca, is the fact that you never give up. You don't let anything stop you. And that's what the world needs, is people who are not willing just to look at things and say, I'm going to follow the norm. So if everyone has a problem, I'm going to have a problem. They're saying, okay, I know this exists. What can I contribute to this? And what else can I create that's never existed before or doesn't exist in my city or in my town or whatever, that allows it to be something different? We have to introduce more of the difference in the world than to be just like everyone else.
Yes. You know how Freedomy started? Well, I've been working in the fashion business for the last 30 years. So I am half Italian, half Brazilian. I moved to Milan to study architecture. And then from my first year in college, I started to work in fashion. I was a saleswoman. My first job was in Versace, and then I went to Prada, Armani, Jill Sanders, Sergio Rossi, Donna Karan. And for 11 years, I was a freelance seller for the showroom. Berlusconi signed up a contract with the Made in China that up to 80% of the Made in Italy could be produced in China and finalized in Italy. And I'm not talking only about fashion, I'm talking about everything. So for 2 seasons, the goods that were arriving to me were too exportive for the time. I'm talking about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, not 20, 30 years ago. Oh my God, I'm becoming old. I had more difficulties to reach the target budget that I had to sell for those clients, you know, big department stores around the globe. So I decided to come back to Brazil because we used to be the #1 producers of shoes for street market, and Italy used to be the first producer for high-end shoes. So I said, why don't we work together between high-end shoes and mid-market shoes and put this technology to work together and help the women that are working with embroidery, the women that are working with sewing, the women that are doing the hard work on shoes, and then to finalize this in a tech factory. So this is what I thought. And then I came back to Brazil and I started my own collection to sell the upper part, which is the upper part of the shoes, to Italy, to finalize in Italy, but to help the women's in Brazil. But I never could do this. Why? Because the price of the upper part in China was much better than the price of the upper part in Brazil, because the Chinese had a lot of money to help the producers to produce. And then the cost of the worker in China was 10 times less than it was in Brazil. So there are a lot of things that I couldn't reach the price that the Italian needed to buy the upper part from China and not from Brazil. So I came back to Brazil to work on this, and it was impossible. And then I did my own brand. And then I started selling shoes to all over the place, not because I had the right price, because I had the right finishing, the right quality. But since it was made in Brazil and not made in Italy, I couldn't sell for a high price. So I had to sell the price of my shoes if it were like a street market shoes, and it wasn't. So for 5 years, I had this factory. I put all the money that I could. I worked like crazy. I travel around the globe, when I said a lot of shoes, but I couldn't get bigger on the retail size because I had to invest a lot of money in publicity, in marketing, and I didn't have that money. So, and then I realized that the problem wasn't the product, wasn't the quality, wasn't the price of the sale, the price of the marketing, the price to be in the sale point, the price of the cost of the meter square of Barney's, the meter square of Neiman Marcus, of Galeria Lafayette, Isetan in Japan, Selfridges in London. So that was the problem. And then I said, you know what? This is not fair. And this is not only happened in fashion, this happened with all the markets. So who said that the worker price in China has to be less than the worker price in Italy? Who said that? Why? Because I stayed there 2 hours working on the shoes, and the guy in China stayed there 10 hours working on the shoes. So, and then I start understanding about, you know, politician. And then I start understanding about how the economic world works. And then I start understanding how are the trades, who made those trades, who makes those laws, why they're doing this, because this is not fair. So we have an unfair global society. But since we're all working online, we have to have better rules. So to start with, we have to give it back. So if you are an Italian fashion company, if you're an Italian constructor company, and you buy, you know, and you supply yourself from the third world countries, we have to give it back. So instead of buying for $1, you can buy for $1.10 and give 10 back to the society. So instead of you paying millions and millions in publicity and marketing, you put 10% less because you invest 10% on education, on a better future, you know. And I am a third world country because I'm half Brazilian, half Italian. I'm more Brazilian than Italian. I was grown up in Brazil, and I had the opportunity to see the difference between the classes. And the only difference is lack of education. Because if you give good education, anything can go. I saw a lot of my friends that come from great family. They went to good school and they never study. They're nothing in their lives right now. And then I have friends that had no opportunity at all, but they had the opportunity to study, and that they study like crazy and they make the difference, and then they reach something. So it's all about education. So how can we change this? And then I see, by having a factory myself, the payday, when I paid the girls, and then when I paid the men's, the girls, they get their check and they invest in the education for their children. And then the boys, they get the check and they go to prostitution, they go to gamble, or they go to drink. See the difference? This is the difference, because a guy that doesn't earn a lot of money, he wants to have one day of pleasure, and then the rest of the month he's terribly economically. But a woman say, you know what, I'm going to save here, and I'm not only going to save here, I'm going to have an extra job. I will go out of this factory, I will sew for someone else, I will cook for someone else, I will sell some beauty things for someone else because I have to get more money. And you know, a woman can do 25 things in the same time. A man has to do one. So we are different. We are different. And it doesn't matter if you're Chinese, if you're Brazilian, if you are Portuguese, it doesn't matter. We're all the same. So after having my factory here, I had to close my factory. I lost a lot of money, even though I was selling a lot of shoes all over the world. I was selling my shoes for the equal price that I was producing, because I had to sell it. And then I was earning money in my Brazilian shops. And I said, you know what? I'm losing time and losing money. I have to close this. And then I close it. And then I start being a consultant for shoes in Asia as a freelance consulting. And then I understood how all the ecosystem was working. Why they're doing this to Italy, why they're doing this with the American market, why they're not doing this with Brazil. And then I understand about laws, policy, trades and everything. And then I said, you know what? I have to make a change. While I was in India, following an upper part production for embroidery. And then I noticed that children, people from, you know, 10 to 16 in India, they prefer to work as slaves, especially women, earning nothing, $2.30 a day. They prefer to earn $2.30 a day and have a work and have money to pay their daughtry, to have a man taking care of them, than being into human trafficking. And I was shocked that human trafficking is bigger than drugs, than drugs trafficking. It's bigger than guns traffic. And I was shocked. And I said, no, this cannot be. Francesca, wake up. And then I start studying about human trafficking. And I said, this cannot be. This cannot be. And then I start traveling all over the world to do my thesis of the 5 pillars of FreedomeE, which is social and cultural, environmental, economic, technology, and quality. And said, you know what? From one of those views, anyone can embrace the idea of FreedomeE, of a social media with a marketplace that focus on positive impact economy for everybody involved. So, and then by doing this, I invested in technology, and trust me, I am not that smart in technology. So I invest a lot of money in bad people in England, and bad people in England, and bad people in Portugal. And then I came back to Brazil to make this easier. And now we're launching this. I am not a multimillionaire. I invest all the money that I had, money and time, for the last 6 years to do this ecosystem. And now we're launching now this in Brazil with a better structure that I launched inside of the English Parliament a year and a half ago. There I just did a try as a call for action. I said, listen, you're getting crazy. You're talking about sustainability. You have no idea what sustainability is all about, because it's all about the needs of the culture of the country. There are women that need things in the south of Brazil that is completely different from the north of Brazil. There are women that need things in Bangladesh that is completely different from Italy. And the Italian will not understand what the Bangladeshi women need. The Indians will not understand what the American women in North Carolina need, because there are local needs, you know, structure needs, and they have no idea. So when I see Marianela saying, I'm going to make this perfume, but I want to invest in local projects for Hera, I think she's brilliant. Yeah. She cannot go, you know, with all the commandments, say this is going to be like this because this is like this in Portugal. No, it's not. And to do FreedomeE, I gave 1,000 hours of my time in the refugee program in São Paulo. Trust me, I was shocked. There's no refugees. There are fugitives, which is completely different. And from all over the world, from different aspects, for social aspects, for family aspects, for economics aspect, for politician aspect, in different story that was like this. Wow, this cannot be true. See, and I am super grateful that I was born in a good family in Brazil, but that I had the opportunity of being Brazilian, for being in a high society and for seeing the needs. So this is what is amazing about Brazil. I don't know how it is in Iran, but I've never been to Iran, and I would love to go to Iran. I think that being a woman, it's difficult, super difficult. And being a woman in developed countries, it's more difficult, because we have to face the simple needs of life, which is education, which is being respected by a man. You know, you're a woman, you're here on, and the religion, it doesn't mean that you're Muslim, if you're a Catholic, if you're Christian, it doesn't mean they're all the same. You know, the woman always has to please their husband, you know, and you cannot get divorced, because if you get divorced, it's a problem, because what the society will say, well, my husband, you know, kick me, my husband is yell at me, my husband has different wives. No, but that's okay. He doesn't bring money to the family, he wastes his money in different women or in gambling, but that's okay. But I have to say amen, but I have to bring food to my table, I have to educate my children, I have to take care if my children are not going to the bad side of life, because anything can happen when you don't have the basic things. Anything can happen. So, and thanks God, I never been to this situation, thanks God. But being with the sewing girls in the factory, doing shoes all over the world in different factories and staying there with them. And I love people. I love talking to people, especially to women, because women, they talk and they're not afraid to open their heart, because they have to talk with someone, right? Like men, which is our terrible education with men. I know, because I have 2 sons. You know, you can't cry. A man cannot cry. A man cannot say, oh, I'm not that good because I didn't achieve that grade, or I didn't have this woman, you know. So doesn't make any sense. So there's a lot of pressures on men as well. So this is why I love Marionella. Marionella said, we need to have the balance between, you know, and it doesn't mean that you about your sex likes, you know, it doesn't have nothing to do with this. We have to have a balanced society, because we need each other, right? So this is
I adore you.
Sometimes it's terrible because I'm translating from Portuguese, and I went to American school. This is, oh my God.
No, you did very well. You did very well. And I love your passion. And that's the thing, you know, each of us have different things that are going to bring us joy. And what that thing is that brings you joy will bring you money, will bring you resources. And, you know, you said education is so important. Education is, but you know something deep inside of you. And, you know, if you're willing to listen to that and allow that to shine, that is its own education. You know, I used to travel before COVID every week to a new country to go empower communities and businesses. And, you know, I'd have kids, adults, I'd have, you know, stay-at-home parents, I had executives, I've had like the whole mix that would come to my programs, because it doesn't matter what your education level was. What is it that you would like to learn now? You know, and allow those resources to be available for you. So I'm so excited about you. I'm so excited about this platform of what you've created to empower people from all around the world. I'm so excited about this perfume, and I'm excited about Hera City. You know, Hera City is going to look, you know, there'll be some features that are the same, but like you said, each city is going to be different based on the country that it's in. Because what that country requires will be very different. You know, I was born in Iran. I left when the revolution hit. My dad shipped us out in 24 hours. I lived in France. I've lived in different parts of the US. I've traveled to so many countries around the world, and no two cities are this, forget cities in the same country. So it really is the uniqueness of you and the uniqueness of the gift that you can bring to your local cities, but to the broader cities. And yeah, I really wonder, like, truly what else is possible that people haven't considered yet, because you don't have to be limited based on what yesterday was. Every day is a new day, and you can choose something very different today than you ever did. Yeah,
that's
and so we're coming to the end of this particular show, but I'm curious, like, what words of advice do you have to women around the world to, just something that might give them that extra oomph to get something started today?
I mean, the first thing is to have women friends and to talk about their needs. Because sometimes your friend has the answer that you needed, that you cannot see it because you're facing the problem and you're not seeing, in a bigger picture. There's always a way. And I think now that this COVID stop everybody, put everybody in the same shell. So we can start like thinking about out of the box. All of us, we need to think about out of the box and thinking that no one has the answers. So that's why when Marianela said, every city will have their own needs and will have different minds taking care of those needs. I think this is amazing. This is someone that has a mind out of the box. We have to think out of the box and share our fears, share our needs, and then see how can we work together. We need to work together. We need to make technology work for humankind, not humankind work for technology, having someone, taking care of everything. We have to be responsible. Do not think that the government will help you. Will not. I say, like, I'm talking about like Brazilians, being a Brazilian, being Italian, a Latin country. Our governors, our politicians always say, I will do this, I will do that, I will do. They never do. So we have to get our lives and say, I will do it. And it doesn't matter if it is one small step. It doesn't matter. One small step, one mind small step, with your small step, with Marianela's small step, we make a big step. So this is why we have to have women helping us. Because men's right now, they're thinking about how they are going to put money in their family. And see, men do not work with 36 different windows working at the same time. They work with 18 windows and they have to work one at the time. So I think now it's our time to embrace each other as a woman and help each other and make this happen, and do not think about the government or anything else. Think about you. We vote with our daily consumption. So we have to think, okay, I'm buying this tea. Who is the owner? This company, what does this company makes to help people? What are the real, positive impacts of this company? Because we vote, and this is what we have to, we vote. We have to think about our small actions. Our small actions can make the difference in the big picture. So this is what will be my...
Yeah. And I want to end it with that, actually. What action can you take today to create the future you desire to have? Because I think a lot of times we're waiting for the government, we're waiting for our friends, we're waiting for someone. But like you said, it's every action adds to the actions and creates a whole other energy of movement forward. So each of us has to be willing to actually step up and be the leaders that we actually are. Yeah. Whatever that is. It doesn't mean you have to go change the world, in the way that you think you do, but what action can you take in your life today to create the future that you know is possible?
Well, I think the first thing is to put on the paper what you like to do. What do you think you can do? What do you like to do? So if I make cookies, go and make those cookies. Start selling their cookies. And do not see the problem, see the opportunities, because there are always opportunities. Oh, but I don't have money to do 100 cookies. You start doing 10 cookies. And then from 10 cookies, you do 12 cookies. You know, there's only one step. And I think this is the only thing. Put on the paper and see what you can do with the ingredients that you have at the moment and live day by day. I think we are living in a society of anxiety. We're all, you know, anxious about something. I'm anxious about this, I'm anxious about that. And then the fear comes to you and then you don't do anything. I remember when I started doing FreedomeE and I said, I want to do an economy with positive impact. I want to have a women embroidery in China being paid at the same level as a women embroidery in Italy. How I'm going to do this? What are the barriers that I'm going to have to face it? You see? And then I said, okay, I cannot change in one day, but if I start putting the 5 pillars in practice, if I start putting together the women's to work together, if we have one project like the perfume of Marionella, and then embrace this together, we can make the difference. When we present the perfume here in Brazil to a huge company called Boticário, that they are in the United States, they are in Middle East, and they are in Europe, they are amazed. Boticário is a perfume company and a makeup company, and they're huge in Brazil, and they make like beautiful projects to help women. They really do, really, really do. And when I introduce the perfume to them, they say, oh, you know what? I want to be the distributor in Europe. I want to, in the future, to produce this perfume in Brazil. I want to make the difference because me, as Francesca, I know the values of Boticário. So I buy the makeups that I buy in Brazil, I buy from Boticário because I know that they are good people. So I'm investing my money in companies that make the difference, not only being quoted in the Bolsa de Valores, how do you say that, in the market, not being placed in the markets, but like know exactly where you are investing your money. So in everything you do, I want to do cookies. So try to buy the flour from the company that you study about this company. Make your work. Do not make your homework. Do not receive everything that people says to you. Go then do your research. Especially when you research things, your mind opens such in a big way that you're saying, oh my God, I didn't see this coming. I never thought this was happening. I never, so, you know, and this is what gives you passion. Have passion for something, but make questions, do research, and stand up and make it happen. And this is what Marionella is doing. And this is why I always say, Marionella, you're small, you're Portuguese, and you're blonde, but you're such an amazing woman. You always see an opportunity in something. You always see an open door. You always see, but you didn't notice this. So I think this is, and we can help each other. As I said, have a good woman friend to help you. Open your heart. Do not be afraid of saying your fears or saying who you are. We don't have to be afraid. So this is what I think.
I adore you. Thank you so much. This was so wonderful for me too, and such an inspiration. And that's what it is. What inspiration can we be for ourselves and for others today? And this is one of my mentors years ago said, we always aim for success, but we've defined success as something that's not real. So what if you making a difference in one person's life meant you had success? Yeah, so how much success have you had that you haven't even acknowledged yet?
Yeah. I think that success is what makes you happy. Mm-hmm. See, what makes me happy is to give opportunity, to make a way to give opportunity to people, and see that people wants to have opportunity. This is what, and even if I help one, as you said, I am happy.
That's what gets me to get out of bed every day, knowing that. So what else is really possible we haven't even considered yet? Thank you so much, Francesca. And thank you for all who are watching today or you're watching in the future. And Hera and Marinella and the gift of what's already been created. And truly, I wonder what else is possible with Hera we haven't considered yet. And if you guys have any questions, heracity.org, and we look forward to one day meeting you in person. See you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Francesca.